Welcome back. As the world observes Earth Hour tonight, scientists at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena are sharing their research into global warming, all facets of climatology, with the public. There will be a free Climate Day event today at the Pasadena Convention Center, and they're going to do it again tomorrow as well. Here with us now, Dr. Joshua Willis, oceanographer at JPL. Joshua, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me, Patrick.
All right, we got to start with, we heard all these conflicting stories. Did we actually get an El Nino this winter?
Yes, there was an El Nino this winter. It was a little different than the one we had a few years ago. If you remember the big El Nino of 1997 and 98.
Oh, how can we forget it?
That was a whopper. This really wasn't a whopper. It kind of got held up out in the Central Pacific. It didn't really make it all the way across to the east where it has the biggest effect on us. But it was a significant El Nino this year in the end.
Now, I would remiss if I did not mention that you were honored by the White House a Presidential Early Career Award for Science and Engineering. That for any particular research that you did?
Well, I've done research into sea level rise, into ocean warming, but this time around, actually, the president emphasized not only the research, but also the education and outreach, and I try and do a lot of that, so I think that had a little bit to do with it as well.
All right, there was a famous disaster movie a few years ago, Day After Tomorrow. We got to show a clip of this if it's ready, because you did a little research that basically reassures us that we're not going to see this kind of disaster.
That's right, that's right. It doesn't look like the Day After Tomorrow is in the cards. It turns out that actually the movie was kind of interesting, though. It was fun for me because this was the first time I was aware of a movie actually emphasizing the role of the ocean and climate. And I'm an oceanographer by training, so it was a lot of fun for me to watch because the ocean is sort of the big villain in this movie.
It is, yeah, exactly. And here it comes, where will you be the day after tomorrow? So how can we be so confident that tidal waves aren't going to sweep over New York City and destroy Los Angeles and all that stuff?
Well, the premise in the movie is actually about the global overturning circulation. They call it the North Atlantic Current. It's a little bit of a mistake in the movie. But it turns out that the overturning circulation plays a big role in climate. It carries heat northward through the Atlantic. It tempers our climate around the North Atlantic.
And a quick aside, of course, we focus on the Pacific Ocean with El Nino, but the Atlantic has a role too.
That's right, absolutely. The Atlantic has a big role in global climate, especially because of this overturning circulation. So in the movie, the overturning circulation shuts down and we're plunged into a new ice age. And actually what my recent research shows is that the overturning does not seem to be shutting down. In fact, it's just carrying on. It probably goes up and down, it increases, it decreases over the course of a few decades. Just naturally. And eventually, it probably will slow because of global warming.
All right, so no ice age imminent, but global warming, there's been all this blowback of late. What is the status of global warming science now?
Well, global warming is very well established. The planet is definitely heating up, and people are definitely the cause. This has been
at least
well
a portion of it.
The vast majority of the warming in the last 100 years is really caused by human activities and the emission of greenhouse gases.
And how much can we affect that by reducing our greenhouse emissions?
Well, we can have a big impact, Patrick. You know, our course is not decided. There is some warming that's still in the pipeline. No matter what we do, the planet's going to get warmer. Sea levels are going to continue to rise, but we can have an impact. We can reduce the amount of warming and sea level rise that we'll have to deal with further on down the line.
Very quickly, what can people expect at the Convention Center this weekend? We've only got about 15 seconds.
Okay, the Convention Center, it's going to be a whole lot of fun. It's a big day. Yesterday we had about 1,400 students, and today actually is the last day, I should say. It's yesterday and today.
Oh, I was off a day. Forgive me.
No worries. But it should be a lot of fun. Climate scientists, climate jeopardy, and you can come see my water balloon trick.
Oh, my goodness, if that isn't a tease, if I ever heard one. Joshua Willis, JPL oceanographer, thanks so much for joining us. And that's at the Convention Center out in Pasadena.